We are a channel that appreciates its viewers. We give our utmost effort for the best quality content, and we even push for the highest quality effort when it comes to how we look for you on screen.
Hi. When I need my skin to look its absolute best when I'm blowing the heads off zombies, I set my ring light to 4700K. Because I care. Maybe he's born with it.
Join our community. Join a channel that loves its viewers. Join this channel because we care.
Good evening, everybody. How are you?
Hello. Good. How about you, Matzo?
I'm feeling a little under the weather, but I'm okay. I kind of woke up with like a sore throat and
We
thought
can't hear you, Frey.
I thought it was just like a not sleeping well thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Frey girl disappeared. I thought it was just like a struggle with not sleeping well, but then throughout, and I thought, once you eat and drink stuff and whatever throughout the day, you'd feel better. But then my throat just kind of stayed. Then I got really tired this afternoon, and I'm like, ugh. Yeah, so, but I will not let that get me down. How are you, Aubrey?
Hey.
Yeah,
hey,
there
you go.
I'm good. I'm good.
Good,
Hi, Frey.
good.
Hi.
Gosh, I'm not used to Friday nights.
I couldn't hear any
I say Wong. He says greetings from CarrierCon and SAC Comic Con.
Is that both at the same time?
Yeah, my
Wow.
goodness.
My goodness.
I say Wong.
Hi, say Wong. Hey, we just had to start because we knew you were going to be on our butts about us.
Yeah, we're like, oh no, Saywon's going to be like,
kick ass.
But as you see, there is someone missing from our usual Friday night show.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Dan is not here at the moment. Hopefully he will be on soon. But for just to bring it up, as you probably saw in the opening, we have a new show starting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific called Saturday Morning Nerd Out. It's his baby.
Mm-hmm.
He's got another kid. He was like, I'm done.
No, I'm all this person.
It's to your left, Frey. Yeah. No, say Wong, you did not scare Van.
No.
2 a.m. at 10 a.m. Pacific every Saturday now for Saturday Morning Nerd Out, where you guys will hear about the headlines, reviews, lots of fun stuff. Horror Corner, which is going to be like probably one thing that we're definitely going to have dedicated to horror aside from like gaming stuff and whatnot. Yeah. Anthony just joined.
Hi, sorry,
oh my goodness. This is the first time I've seen you like live with the haircut.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It looks comfy.
It looks sexy.
Nice. It was heated.
Yeah. Dan's so funny.
It looks sexy.
I did send him a quick text. Haven't heard back yet. He did like respond to a message I posted in After Dark not terribly long ago. So I'm kind of like, okay, did he like fall asleep right after?
He might have.
Was he sleep texting again?
Sometimes that happens.
I do that occasionally, and
yeah. So we'll see when he eventually shows up. So guys, for this evening, I forgot to upload the graphics, so I'm going to do that right this very second. But Graveyard, in your own words, go ahead and give them an idea of what the show is about.
So we're gonna focus on one or two things in the movie world that's nerdy, in the TV show that's very obviously Mandalorian right now is out, so we'll be discussing season 3, episode 3 tomorrow. On top of that, our gaming, we're always going to have a gaming section. We talk about the latest video games or gaming trends that we're seeing right now. Like, so tomorrow we're going to have PlayStation VR 2, and we're going to have the horror corner where we discuss horror movies just for 10, 15 minutes. And then after that, we'll have a segment which one of these lovely people will have a topic that they want to talk about and bring and nerd out on together with us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So really quick.
Tristan, when you're ready, just turn and give us a thumbs up if you're ready.
Oh, good, he is here. I just want to show you.
Was...
I'm in full regalia today. I'm wearing my kilt.
Oh, nice.
My socks and everything.
I love it.
Forgive my accent. It's atrocious.
It is atrocious, my young lad.
Fine.
Tis atrocious.
We're already saying potatoes? Oh, no.
I'm Irish all fucking day. It's great.
Fucking fantastic.
Pretending you're Irish, aren't you?
Well,
Irish
I'm
every day,
actually mostly Scottish, which is funny, but I can't really do the Scottish accent fully well.
Yeah,
I'm just
That's fine.
and really good book. That's about it.
I did a Scottish musical once, and I learned to say upstairs, and that was it.
Upstairs. Well, I have to know how to do an Irish accent.
Okay, I can see Tristan, your camera. I can see your avatar, but it's kind of like making your arms a little funky. It actually kind of reminds me of Phasmophobia, when you can spawn inside each other when you first start the dance.
No blueberries.
So,
funny enough, in Ireland they actually don't really celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
I know, it's a very American holiday.
It's very American.
It's just another.
I didn't wear a single bit of green.
Yeah.
Stimulates the economy. Everyone goes out to the fucking bars and they just get pissed.
I didn't wear a single bit of green today.
I think it's
My eyes are green.
Actually, I actually wore my Irish shirt today, but I'm in my workout clothes. So
my socks.
Hey Tristan,
that's another.
If you can type in the private chat when you're ready, and just let us know when you're ready.
That's another topic we can have for a different night. Is our traditions and holidays dying? Because I remember when I was a kid, like everybody had green, and you used to run around and pinch each other if you didn't have green. None of these kids care about any of that. Like now, I think we had 2 kids in my classroom.
It's a cellular device. That's why.
It's sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment. I don't know.
Just go fucking insult these days.
Yeah, it's a bit insulting.
I fixed that by having a green tattoo, so I'm good.
But holidays in general, it just seems like I don't know. It just seems like there's less tradition, there's less celebration that goes around it than what I seem to remember from my childhood. I just feel like in general we do that.
Focus on breaking traditions.
It's
I think it's a bit of both.
I think it's changing. I think it's all evolving. Just like different traditions. You have this every now and then where you have a real tradition. Like we're having in the United States at least, probably in the global community as well, but we're having a traditional values versus progressive values right now.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody is a little like, do I really want to celebrate something that is technically traditional if I don't want to be traditional? So we got a lot of growth.
Let's save that for a topic for like next week, like Americanized holidays that aren't celebrated in like the country that we verify that we think they're celebrated from. Just to give, I had a passport photo done today.
Right.
It was absolutely horrendous. I just like
you
have to take your glasses off, and it's like,
yeah, they don't want you to like do anything.
I have an issue with flashes, right?
Oh.
It took 4 tries to get a picture with me not with my eyes closed. My children got them first try, and my oldest is like, geez, Mom, you took 4 times. And I was like, shut up. I was like, because even prom, like I went to prom, and they took 9 tries to get a picture with me with my eyes open. I was so embarrassed to hold up that line. So, all right, I am removing myself.
Bye,
Bye, Matt.
Bye.
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 All righty.
Well,
Yeah.
hello
All right,
there.
where's Tristan?
That's why I put them out.
By the way, I love your background.
Berries? No berries?
It's fucking fantastic.
Okay, let's look in the private.
It's feckin' awesome.
It's fucking
Tristan,
fantastic.
are you ready, Tristan?
The fresh ones I just bought?
No, not yet. No, for Tristan.
I'm fairly certain he's calibrating his camera with his avatar.
Oh, he's the
I like how she just pops in. That should be a mezzo thing. That should be a thing. Like she's not on any show. She just pops in with information. Right?
Unlimited power!
Yeah, done.
Oh, goodness.
Well, I love the Legend of Zelda in the background.
Yeah,
there.
isn't that cool?
It's fantastic.
And when he sits, it looks like he's got wings.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also awesome. There we go.
All right. Should we start with the hard topic or the light topic tonight?
Except the hard. Why not?
Yeah, let's do. Usually,
I like it hard. What can I say?
All right.
I want blackberries or blueberries.
The bank collapse. Guys, I don't know how many times we have to do this. It seems like every 11 years or so, we have to have some kind of national bank collapse crisis.
You just let them collapse.
What was that? What was that, Aubrey?
Let's just let them collapse. Let's stop buying.
Well, that's definitely one of the opinions. Recently, we saw the collapse of SVB, I believe it was called. Silicon Valley Bank.
Yeah,
that's what it was. And this bank in particular was known for lending money to startups in the technical industry. Now, I guess, a lot of those have kind of dried up. People aren't investing like they were before. We're seeing like mass layoffs in the tech industry by some of the giants, including, Twitter. And people are afraid, even like today, I guess, like there was lines at that bank of people trying to get in and get their money. And now other people are afraid of other banks collapsing. One of the questions that comes up, just like Aubrey was saying, is do we let them, do we support them or do we let them fall? And then, how many times do we have to do this?
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts?
I have
I have something
first.
So interestingly enough, and forgive me, I'm probably going to be stuck in my Irish accent all day. What I believe happened is that much of what happened with this particular bank is the fact that there's all those deregulations during the Trump era. That he wrote the laws that basically made it.
I agree.
And so now we're seeing the repercussions of what happens when we don't have enough
regulations,
control or regulations. And like Aubrey was saying, let them fail.
Let them fail. This is part of the problem that we had in 2008. We didn't let them fail, and then we just bailed them out. And then what happened? It just failed further.
Bailed them out, and what did they do? They still gave their shareholders and their CEOs great big fucking bonuses. And for what? You fucked up. You should be taking all that money from them and giving it back to the people who had their money invested in that bank and leave it at that.
Right. That's one of the big arguments is that, if we keep doing this, is this just a carte blanche for banks to just do whatever they want because they know in the end they're going to get
fired.
They're going to get let go. No, I totally agree. CEOs should get the axe. Do you think that would change or maybe even possibly make people's confidence in banks even stronger if banks were to fall? Or do you think people would be less likely to use banks?
I think either way, you're kind of fucked. And honestly, this is why we're seeing a lot more bartering coming about these days, where people are just trading services because, like, you know what? Fuck it. I'd rather just get the thing I want by trading you the things you want, because money's now this concept that's just stupid, and inflation's gone crazy, and we're spending it all on food and other necessities. But if these banks fail and nobody's got any money, then all of these stores are going to have to just lower their prices. So, I mean, it should actually readjust the inflation in my mindset. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not an economics major by any means. If I was, I would have not owed the fucking government more money this year. Oh, dear God. So much for taxes. It's sad.
Right.
I am drinking
Grave,
more.
did you have a thought, Graveyard?
Well, I know you're saying that tech layoffs are big. That's actually not in the tech industry. It's
Not in the accounting industry.
there's so many jobs out there now. There's more jobs than there's ever been in the tech industry available for people to take. So
Just big companies are laying off people.
yeah. The tech isn't going anywhere. It's not any stretch of the imagination a bad market to be in for job hunting at all. But this was big enough that we had a company meeting at my job yesterday, and they're like, "Hey, just so you guys know, we don't have any investments in this bank, so everything's fine with us."
Wow.
And none of our affiliates or stuff like that. So it was big enough for my company of I think 50 or 60 people to have in our town hall meeting discuss that and point out to us that it's not something that we have to worry about.
Right.
But there was with this stuff, and we had the bank bailouts. We always do bank bailouts, and to Anthony's point, that we really shouldn't be doing it. I think I was reading an article today that is either Finland or Iceland. They had 3 banks fail. They bailed them out once and didn't work. Then they stopped bailing them out. So then the people got the money back. So
right,
do we keep investing in these? As Aubrey said too, do we keep investing in these people that are screwing up? They should be fired. They shouldn't get bonuses. They failed. They should be punished and not get money. Now, we're saying let the banks fall. Probably not, but we should be able to go, hey, you need to take a pay cut or not get paid or go away, and then help you out, and not to the
maybe
CEOs, but
step aside and have a new staff structure be put in place.
Pay the people, not the CEOs. Pay the people who are working it, and that way the bank can stay functioning. They can still do their business, but you don't need the $20 million bonus for failing.
Right.
Yeah.
Is the whole system just fucked? I mean, they say that you can't just walk. If I have $500,000 in the bank, I can't just walk into a bank and go, please give me my money. There's always an amount of time because the bank doesn't carry that amount of money on hand.
I was a bank teller for 4.5 years. Yes.
Okay. Do you think that system? I mean, on the one hand, that's what allows banks to loan money to other businesses, right? If they weren't somehow being able to generate a profit, or if they weren't able to move that money out of the bank account and not keep 100%, then they wouldn't be able to loan money out to other people. But then again, when something like this happens, you can't just go and get your money anytime you want.
Okay, so when you say get your money, and you're talking physically cash, because you're correct. Now, you can't go to the bank and go deposit $500,000 in cash either. That's not okay either. So there are reports that have to get filled out over certain amounts of cash being brought in. So if it's over a person bringing over $10,000, it's a suspicious activity report, the SAW report that has to be taken in to verify why you're taking this type of cash out, because there's no reason for cash anymore, and people need to realize that.
I had that happen with my credit union. I was buying a car, and they were like, "Oh, we need to know why you're buying it." I was like, "It's my fucking money. Why does it matter?" It was only $8,000 too, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I've just been doing that.
You can get money orders, you can get personal checks, you can certify checks for your money and take it somewhere else. You don't need the cash, and people need to realize that cash is dead. Move on with their lives.
Well, and that's the whole thing. It's a fucking construct. It's just numbers on a screen. So why is it that things keep costing more money if it's just all a bunch of a figment of our imaginations? Don't get it.
Right.
Don't understand it. It's we're in the fucking matrix, people. Just look
I don't get it either.
Proof positive right there.
Well, and if you really
arbitrary.
The story was that my parents' friend they saved up cash because they wanted to get an iPad from Apple. They saved up cash, they got physical cash. Went to the Apple store, Apple goes, "We don't take cash. You have to pay with your credit card or a debit card." So I mean, if you have your tech giants already saying we don't take cash, then why
I
do we
also
have it?
do work in the service industry where like cash is what I basically walk with. That's what
same here.
So I do need it. I have come to the realization that I need to deposit that cash rather than spend it, because that way it will help show my bank that I'm making as much money as I'm claiming I'm making. Because I'm trying to buy a house. I want to try to buy a house.
Absolutely.
And I mean, what's crazy is there's like 5 of them going on the market right around my mom's house, and we're trying to get the one behind hers and all this other shit. So that one's coming up, but like, it's also kind of a shitty time to buy. Like it's not.
It's a seller's market.
Well, yeah, and that's just it. All of these people are trying to cash in on the fact that it's the last gasp before this shit crashes again.
Yeah.
But I also know if I wait for shit to crash, I'm gonna have to wait for like crap to come back up again. Like I'm not gonna get something in the neighborhood I want. I'm not gonna get something necessarily that's gonna be conducive to what I want outside of, trying to push an offer on my current landlord and be like, hey, you want to sell me your house for $430? Yeah, sound like a good plan. That way you don't got to do shit. I don't got to move. So we'll see what happens there. But at least I know my credit's I've been working on my credit.
Good.
That going. It's up to like 770. I'm happy with that.
Mine's at 780.
What
So,
the 800. Eli's almost back up to 700. My mom's like willing to realize the fact that she's going to have to co-sign if I get anything, only for the fact that like everybody has to have their parents co-sign right now. Like there is no feasible reality in which I could just buy a house completely on my own because it's not the 80s anymore. I had that whole conversation with my mom too. Like you need to get this out of your mindset that I could just go get a job that has the same benefits and things that you got when you were my age, because those don't exist anymore. It's just not where we're at anymore.
But how long ago did you get your house?
She got hers like right in, I think 2005 or that sounds
Are you talking about Frey Girl? Or are you talking about mom?
Frey.
Oh yeah, I totally talked over you. Forgive me.
No, it was like no, it was actually a little later than that, but okay. But you're in the ballpark. It was probably around 2011, 2010. So
yours was right after the crash.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, I bought mine February 9th, 2008.
Oh gosh. You were like
yours was within the crash. Yeah.
It's
right there.
when the crash. Yes. I was rewriting the mortgage system for a bank.
Oh,
and they said,
oh, so you knew it was going to crash, so you bought a house when it was at the lowest.
You're like, here we go.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
wow.
I did, but we sold. I actually bought a house in California by myself in San Diego.
Oh, wow.
And and we sold it for twice what we paid for it. And that was, I want to say, that was 2004. And then bought a really good house, and then stuff happened. And I needed my own house, so I bought my own house. So life happened, and then I bought my own house. Now I have it, and now I want to burn it down.
But what are your thoughts then on the bank collapse and what we should do with them?
I don't think that we should bail banks out. I think that's what the FDIC is for. It's an insurance agency. It would make sure all of the people that invested money into the bank are paid out what they invested. If that bank is not solvent on its own, it shouldn't continue. So, they get upset. Like everyone gets upset when it's like, no, we want a universal health care. Well, right now we have universal bank care. That's what we have. We bail out banks all the time, and we shouldn't. We've already been through this. Nobody learned anything. I say let's not do it.
That's because it's the same fucking people in charge in the Senate and in Congress. It's the same people that fucked it up last time. They're still there. So, of course,
unfortunately,
we haven't changed any of the people out, except for like maybe 6 of them. And then even half of those are like the crazies that you see coming from the other side, like the Matt Gaetz of the world.
Yeah.
God
damn.
Some of the people that I see, I'm just like, wow, you were like totally a frat boy and got here because your daddy knows somebody, like clearly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, the banks need to collapse. If you can't do it, if you cannot make your business work, then you don't deserve that business. If you were small, if they were small,
especially if you need to make that business work to cut all the taxes so you can get your nice little pretty bonuses, then absolutely you should fail.
But
you cannot pay your people a living decent wage, and yet you're giving all the bonuses to yourself. Absolutely.
But you have to equate it to if a small business went under, nobody bails them out. Like nobody even attempts to bail them out. So why should a bank, which is it's not a federal bank, it's not the Fed, so it is its own corporation, it's a business. If it fails, it should have the consequences of failing. And I think that's what needs to happen.
Okay, but on the bigger scale, we also have the whole thing with the debt ceiling again happening, which I mean we are so close to defaulting as a country on a massive scale right now. They're already taking efforts to try to postpone it, but even like the omens around the world are saying like we have until like June to figure shit out, otherwise we're gonna default, and then everything hits the fan. Then everything's gonna just fuck up and fail.
Yeah, because we've never defaulted.
And that's it. We've never defaulted. We've always been good on our credit, but they're not good with their money. The U.S. government is not good about balancing their budget, which again is why it's so laughable. We have a whole party about fiscal responsibility that added $8 trillion to the goddamn deficit in 4 years again.
Yeah,
took us from the biggest surplus to the biggest nosedive, but yet they're the fiscally conservative. Sure, okay, yeah, keep on lying to me about that one. Piss on my leg and tell me it's raining again. Yeah. There's TriStar.
Hello. Hello. All my VR equipment was bugging out, so I just not dealing with it. Already wait.
That's fine. The camera loves you. Shut up now. We ran into lunch today. It was adorable. It was like, hey,
yeah,
we're getting sushi. Come join us.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Tristan?
I'm freaking fabulous. Other than all of the technical issues during trying to figure out all the VR. So for the first time, other than being in virtual reality here, the hell I am. So yeah.
Well, welcome to our humble abode.
Yeah, Wednesday he was the most amazing cat from Cats. It was a
nice. Hold on one second.
Magical moment. That's what I was trying to say. Musical. We had a fun little battle at the end. It was Mamma Mia.
No, it's fun.
It was me and Tristan. And of course, I'm like in this like ridiculous like opera gown. He's dressed as a tabby cat. So I just like played it off as the crazy cat lady trying to like lure the stray. Like
had to be running away. And of course I got cat.
Got cat.
Got caught.
I hope it's okay. I rubbed your belly.
Meow. Wouldn't have rolled over if it wasn't all right.
Good. I was like, we're playing into this. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, continue. Somebody else say.
So, Tristan, have you been hearing the conversation that we've been having as you've been trying to get in?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on all this?
That just goes into a whole, like, I'm honestly really not one for a lot of political talk. I was more honestly interested in the, like, celebrity opinions and whatnot, because it's like everyone's entitled to their entire 2 cents, but an opinion's still an opinion. So politically wise,
we'll get into that one a little bit later on. That's for the second half of the segment, the show tonight. Are you worried about the country collapsing or anything? Have you heard?
The country right now, in this day and age, in my opinion, is already chaos, and it's just going downhill even more.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
somewhere between
the Roman Empire moment, as it were.
I'm somewhere between. Oh my God! Please don't let this happen. And fuck it and let it burn. Somewhere between those two, that's where I stand. I'm not really sure exactly where.
I'm stocking up on marshmallows, so.
Regardless, it's not going to be as bad as we think it will be, only because we are capable enough to like come together in times of crisis to be like, okay, this is how we're going to fix it. So is shit going to hit the fan? Absolutely. It's bound to happen. It's going to happen. Will it be something that's so devastating that we're all going to be like outcasts in the streets, like looking for alms for the poor? No, I don't believe it's going to get to that point.
You don't think it's going to be Great Depression levels?
I don't think so, only because of technology and because of the fact that we're so connected. I feel like the resources will somehow make themselves available. I mean, we waste so much fucking food in this country. It's not like we're gonna starve.
Well, I mean, it's the problem isn't food, right? The problem is not do we have enough food? It's the distribution of the food, right? When you've got companies that are throwing out food every half hour, and then just the way we treat food in general, like I think sometimes about the some of the YouTubers I see, and they're doing food challenges and all that, and I hear other people say, "Oh my God, dude, in my culture, you would never joke around about food, or you would never waste food, especially for some stupid video or something like that." It's kind of the principle of it. It's more than can we actually produce it? If we have a disruption in our food chain line, I mean that whether it's trucking or ship cargo or whatever, that has so many consequences that trickle down to the grocery store that you and I walk into. And then, people fight. I mean, we saw how people acted over toilet paper. Can you imagine if food actually starts becoming rations?
What can I say other than invest in a bidet? It's worth it. Save yourself about 80% of that toilet paper need in a month, and there you go.
Well, I mean, Ark, I think you're right. Is that we may not, from our level, we may not see the fallout on a personal level, but as the banks fail and they're going to say that then they can't pay and they can't get money to pay the workers, and it goes down that line to eventually does hit us where we have that supply blockage again. So while you're right, while we have the food, we don't have people that are going to work because they can't get a paycheck because people can't go to the bank to pay them and all that.
Right. Or the people on the farms aren't getting paid enough so that there was actually, I know there was actually food that was like spoiling on the farm. It was like right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yep.
It's not that we didn't have food. It's just that there was no way to get them onto the trucks because there was no workers. So you had literally farms just throwing out millions of pounds of food because, there was no way to get it out.
Well, I mean, a whole other topic is we do that anyway, just because it's not pretty food, we don't eat it. So
that's true.
I remember digging up carrots that didn't look great.
Once people are desperate enough, they'll tolerate. Oh, that got a couple bruises. That's fine because I'd rather not die.
Well, I used Imperfect Produce for a long while, where they sent you the slightly not pretty shelf vegetables and fruits, and they're absolutely fine. And I felt better doing that just because it was cheaper, and I'm cutting up. I'm getting peppers to put in fajitas. I don't care what they look like.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like the saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover.
That's true.
That's true.
And we can go on the whole other topic of expiration dates and how arbitrary they are. John Lover's done really, really well about food waste in a couple of episodes.
Right here.
It's just like I said, it's a whole other topic. But I mean, But bank bailouts, like I said, pay the people so workers can get paychecks. That's the biggest thing we need to be concerned about.
Right. Oh, so you worked in a bank. Maybe you can help me understand this, because I've heard the term "they're too big to fail." What does that mean?
I mean, it's almost the same way as cuff your nose to spite your face.
Yeah.
It really is. They're saying, that they have, like, you have, let's say, Kyber Cave gets 10,000 orders a week in lightsabers, right? That you were able to, and then you get these vast productions. You have markets around the country, you have warehouses, distribution, you have all this stuff set up, and you go, well, this is always an on-demand thing, right? Like, for some reason, they're biodegradable that only lasted a couple months or a year, that you always had a product that needed out there. So in theory, you have this product everyone wants that no one's ever going to stop wanting. So you're never should fail. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, we go through trends in society. We go through, all our appliances, talk about our parents say the appliances they bought lasted them 50 years. Well, they're made better, but we just go, we want the shiny new thing. Therefore, we make these things disposable, and they really shouldn't be.
Right. I think about jobs that are, when I was a kid back in the dinosaur days, you had things like TV repairmen. I don't even know if that job exists anymore, because if your TV breaks, you just go buy a new one. Forget repairing it.
Well, it's because the price point has dropped so significantly. You can do that. You know, we balk at the $1,000 cell phone, but we have no problem spending. How much were the first iPads? How much were the first iPods? They were stupid expensive. Now you go, I can buy one for $49. So it is disposable at that point in time. It wasn't. This cost me 8 months of my income for the year, therefore I'm going to make sure it lasts forever.
Right.
So I think that's part of it.
I mean, that kind of goes into, and I'm wondering, I've heard this theory that businesses are trying to get us to the point where we as Americans don't own anything. Everything is rented or leased out.
Subscription, monthly, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everything from your car to, if they had their way, probably even your house. Well,
technically, it's true. It already is true, 100%. You buy a Blu-ray. I don't know who buys Blu-rays anymore. You buy a Blu-ray, and you legally cannot show it to anyone else other than whoever purchased it. It's their property.
I can't have a movie night. They made that a thing.
It's always been the warning on the DVD.
Yeah, they had that FBI warning before.
Apparently, I've just been a rebel breaking the law left and right. I'm like, hey, everyone, what's meeting?
Well, I mean, the reason why
that was that you couldn't copy it.
No, you could not. You cannot show it in a public display other than for your entertainment purposes. You are renting the intellectual property.
And I know that to be true because I know with Kyber Cave, for instance, we wanted to do the 12 Nights of Star Wars. And in fact, we did do it under the radar. Don't tell anybody. Shh. But we had to be careful because when we started looking into it, I found out I was supposed to technically buy like a license from BMI or whatever that gave me permission to show it in a public space, even if I already owned the copy of the movie. So it wasn't like I was renting a first-rate movie from the movie theater. I'm talking about DVDs that have been in my private collection for, 10, 15 years. I wasn't allowed to show, or technically, legally, I wasn't allowed to show at the Kyber Cave without buying a special license for it.
It's not crazy. Do you have the express written consent of the NFL? I mean, that's always been there too. It's that idea is, what's on your cell phone that you buy. What's yours? What did you put in there? That's yours.
Photos,
pictures, and movies.
But did you create the camera?
No. And everything wants access to all of those to use anything like even MapQuest. I'm just like, okay.
But the idea is it's the consumer replaceable units or CRUs versus manufacturer replaceable units, MRUs. So the idea is, it's even technology. When laptops were, when I was 15 years ago, you were able to place every single thing inside the laptop. You get parts now. It's like, you have to send it into HP or Lenovo because they have to fix it because they have certified people that do it versus you because you void your own warranty by opening it up if you have the warranty. So, I mean, it's always that case. It's you're talking about cars, right? It's not.
I know Tesla's supposedly horrible about people doing their own repairs or making their own modifications to cars.
Well, especially when AI and computers are involved, that if you get into the kernel of the operating system and you screw it up and you exploit it, all of a sudden the Tesla doesn't have to be self-driven, that you're able to take it off the grid of monitoring. That's really dangerous because that's the whole model behind it. So that's why they're doing it, is to keep buying their stuff and to protect this, because if they go, Joe Blow down the street was able to hack his Tesla to be able to go 250 miles per hour, then all of a sudden that's a black mark against Tesla, and they go, now we have to recall and fix every exploit possible on this car.
Well, didn't Tesla already do the thing, like if you didn't pay for the self-driving thing and somehow were able to unlock it, they would retroactively charge you for it?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a feature that's in the car automatically. It's just that you have to pay for them to unlock it. It's like DLC content in a goddamn video game. We're at that point. We're in the Matrix, okay? I keep saying this now.
It's what broke the Xbox One. They said you have to be always online, and there's going to be no aftermarket for used games, so you can't buy used one. It's all DRM. And as soon as I said that, Xbox failed as a company, and they're still trying to recover from it. And that was, that was what, 13 years ago.
But see, the flip side of that, I mean, and I understand that. Obviously, that's a good thing, right? I mean, we want to worry, people's safety and health are the first priority.
Mm-hmm.
But the flip side of that is when you have things like Apple slowing down older phones in order to get you to buy their newer product, because they know there's people like me who will just ride a phone until it dies. I'm not the guy that just buys the new phone every year just because it's the pretty new phone. I use it until it dies. But so now companies have the ability to make your products die faster.
We let them get that way. We absolutely let them get that way. Yeah. It's our fault.
And that's why the banks have to collapse.
We said we want the iPhone XL, XXL, whatever, right? It needs to be 13 inches long, whatever you want to call it, just because it's the new thing and people do it. If people
it's also about the hype
model. I feel attacked by that. I feel the XL screen, and I like it, but I didn't demand it. I didn't even know it was out there until I found it. So hush. Okay, go ahead.
But you still bought it.
What I was going to say is that, there is that planned obsolescence, and that's been going on for a long time. Mm-hmm. That's something that, before we had these things that lasted, was still like the newest, latest, and greatest. Henry Ford, when he started making the Model Ts, the way that he made it so it was a sustainable business is, he paid his employees enough so that they could buy the cars that they were making. And then that whole thing's like every 2 years you'd have a newer model come in, so an updated model, so then people would buy it anyway. So this is not anything that's been new. However, with the phones, they plan these obsolescences. They actually will put coding into the phone to make it fail. Mm-hmm. And that is something that people don't want. Apple got sued by that. Apple actually got sued by the government for doing that shit. And the same thing with Android.
It's also a security risk because they can't keep making updates that last 5 generations of phones. It's not feasibly possible without increasing the price of everything.
Okay, I disagree, but okay.
You can't go, I'm running this program for Windows 98 right now. You can't do that. It's not a feasible thing to do. It's not monetarily make sense.
I'll just stick with my Samsung Galaxy 9 Plus and I'll be all good. I got my OtterBox. It's got that. It's maybe old, but I don't need nothing much than that.
Yeah,
honestly,
I've got a
can we
Galaxy
just go
S9.
back to the flip phone era?
I miss my flip phone. I like my flip phone.
I like my flip phone. I felt like I was. I felt like I was totally into the Star Trek age with that. Like,
so Husby had a Windows phone, like an actual Windows phone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I think he had the last one actually, and so we had to go and get him a new phone. And I was like, "Well, do you want iOS or do you want Android?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't want the Apple stuff. Give me Android." And so he stomps around this phone store for, I swear, like 20 minutes. My son at the time was 13, and he was,
by the time we left the store, he was 17.
Right. No, he was like, "Mom, why is he doing that?" And I was like, "Because he's throwing a tantrum because he has to get a new phone." So, and he was like, "I hate it. I'm never going to get used to it." And then the next day I get a text and it's, "I love my phone. Thank you so much for making me get a new one." I was like, "You son of a bitch."
I switched to an iPhone for work just because of the goddamn group threads that were being made every other week, and I still hated it. I still could not get into the iPhone thing. I hated everything about it. I hate their fucking calculator. What is with the calculator that I can't see what I typed in for the entire equation? I'd make one mistake and screw me up and I'd start counting my drawer entirely all over again. So no, I hate the iPhone. Fuck the iPhone. Screw that nonsense. I want something that's good and solid that I could throw on the ground and it won't break.
You get an OtterBox for that, that's for sure.
Hey, I used to sell OtterBoxes. I stand by them.
Yep.
They're fantastic.
That's usually what I do whenever I go to buy a phone, though, is I say, like, okay, give me your most durable model of whatever thing I can't destroy. Because
go, it's ugly.
Nice things. If I have nice things, they immediately break. And then I go, okay, well, why? And then the answer to, do you want insurance, is always yes. Because I already know that one time I don't do the insurance, that's when I'm going to do something that's like, oh, well, now that's broken forever. Have fun paying for a new one.
My wife's phone has gone swimming in the toilet probably 5 times. Not the same phone either. Because
I don't want to know.
Oh, God. I'm
with
him. Oh, jeez, I'm with him on that. Oy.
Well, I mean, I was raised in a Dutch household where if you can't fix it, you just didn't try hard enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, so it's like I said, I think, it's that planned obsolescence, and I think we'll see with bank collapse, if that shortage happens again, we'll see prices go up again, unfortunately. And they'll go, well, it has to be this high, and they'll stay that high. And that's
Right.
Well,
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling, and I don't know. We could be completely wrong, but I feel like we're on the verge of something new. Like, I feel like we're on the verge of French Revolution, where people are just tired of this, shit happening. Like I said, dude, we've had how many? I mean, I'm almost 50 years old, dude. And I feel like I've had at least 4 or 5 major financial crises in my lifetime. Every 10 or 11 years, something comes up to wipe out half of the middle class,
and it's the same
and then another 10 years
that make that
People in charge.
time.
Yeah.
So no, we're gonna have like a huge change happen within the next 10 years, because most of these politicians are gonna die. Like,
Right.
either
Well,
by
make sure
our
of it.
hand or by nature. But seriously, have you looked at the state of Mitch McConnell? You can't tell me that man is just like living on a fucking prayer right now. And he's got another 5 years.
I don't know if he's
that
working with
motherfucker
you
will
or
never
not.
die. Him
He's-
and Dick Cheney.
He's
They will
running on
never
pure
die.
He's running on pure spite at this point.
I mean, Dick
All
Cheney's
in that
dead,
sack
so
of a
be
neck
fair.
Oh,
To be
um,
fair, I think Dick Cheney's has already.
Yeah,
you know,
I think Dick Cheney is passed.
he's already dead.
he,
So
he's still alive.
No,
Dick
I
Cheney?
thought he died.
I thought he
Dick
died.
Cheney?
Dick Cheney. I thought Dick Cheney was dead.
No,
I'm
it's
gonna
the other
No,
one.
dude,
It's
Dick
one that ran
Cheney's a
for president.
robot.
At those computer box, tell me,
McCain.
is
It was
Dick Cheney
McCain.
still
You're
alive?
thinking of McCain.
Well, no, I'm not thinking of McCain.
Oh, Dick Cheney's still with us? Would someone Google?
He's still alive.
He's still alive. Okay.
Oh, okay then. All right. I guess he's just retired from politics then. Okay. Well, I mean, he is Emperor Palpatine, to be fair. So.
I mean, when you accidentally shoot a person,
He is
maybe it's a deer.
82, so I guess it's any day now.
I think
Wow.
Palpatine is definitely the Mitch McConnell right now. Like that looks like a saggy sack of shit.
Mhm.
Everybody's life miserable.
Well, Anthony, tell us.
I want to give all the rich people more money because I want to go and get over the ones for world.
From everybody else. I want
Poor people shouldn't be able to make money.
Don't you just see him sitting outside a plantation drinking ice?
Yeah, I'm sure
It's
he
hot
actually
out there.
had one. It seems like he's old enough. Like,
Oh my god!
Oh,
You know what's horrible for
yeah.
somebody that fights so hard against the health system? He had polio as a child. Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Of course he did. Of course.
the irony.
Damn it, vaccines!
Oh, damn, the poor vaccines. Seriously,
Right.
like my mom is like, oh, vaccines. I'm like, do you know vaccines is the reason why we don't have polio right now?
Right.
Just
Right.
saying, Mom.
Right.
Well, that's
Yeah, scarlet fever isn't a thing.
Well, I'm
People that
wondering.
should be. That should
I
have
wonder what
opinions.
celebrities would think about the fall of collapse of society.
They wouldn't care.
Okay, was that a shitty segue? Sorry. All right, let's just do it.
That was
Boom.
That was a terrible segue.
You know what? I tried. We can't all be David.
I know what David is.
All right, celebrity opinions. Do they fucking matter? And if so, why? I was thinking about this. Okay, from strictly a business point of view, I was thinking about this with Kyber Cave, and like, I was thinking about things like Air Jordans, right? Like, why is it? I mean, what is it? Is there something in a human brain's mind that's like, oh, my favorite actress is doing a commercial about my favorite actress loves Popeye chicken. That means I must love Popeye chicken. What is it? Because that has never really worked for me.
Okay.
But obviously it works, or they wouldn't pay celebrities money to endorse their products, right?
So I can say for a certainty that as a child, I only liked chili dogs because Sonic the Hedgehog liked chili dogs. So I was very, very fallible. Are you into something and they like this? Absolutely. At the same time, I feel like when I hear a topic like this, like what do their opinions matter? It's when we see like these award ceremonies where, you know, all these celebrities get together, have a big party, be celebrated for tonight, get a trophy, and then they take that time to like post a political platform or an opinion on something, and it does not come off as a genuine thing that they're actively working towards fixing. It comes off as I'm making a stance because I really want people to know I'm chasing that clout hard, and I need these props. I need people to know that I'm behind this movement and this thing because it's popular enough on Twitter that it's going to make me seem like a better person, even though they're not going to actually do jack fucking shit about it. Right?
Okay.
So, I mean, that's kind of where I take that thing. Do their opinions matter? Well, of course, everybody's opinions matter. Like, everybody can take their opportunity to say what they want. But at the same time, if it comes off as you're just hopping on a bandwagon to seem more popular or to go with what's a popular thing, rather than stating, like, you know, how you feel about something, if it comes off as disingenuous, it's going to really read as a disingenuous statement.
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
But you're viewing their opinions as more of a platform for people to notice them versus a platform to do good, right?
Yes, I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, there, Anthony. Right? I mean, there are celebrities that, you know, we could argue, and here's my main point on this. We could argue that they're so out of touch with reality because they don't have to live in it with us. Therefore, they don't have the same opinions as the common person. I'd argue the politicians are in the same spot.
Yeah.
They are so out of whack, out of line of where we are as the society. They don't care because they don't see it. So therefore, their opinions shouldn't matter either.
Well, okay, so it's like you can't say, like, I believe in saving the planet from pollution, but then you also have your own private jet that you use to go across LA.
Correct.
Like, those would be hypocritical things to kind of have a statement about. Like, oh, I care about the environment, but not really. I still have my own opinion.
And then I even remember at the beginning of the pandemic, you had people that were like, you know, celebrities that were like, we're all in this together, while they're in their huge like mansions with, you know, all the food. And then a lot of them were still having what's the Kardashians, weren't they still having like parties and stuff like that?
We're talking about celebrities here.
Right.
No, I mean it's a double-edged sword. We put them on the pedestal, we praise them, and we want them to be the moral compass. So we want them to say the right thing and do. And do they have an obligation to say the right thing and do the right thing? I think they do. They have those followers. They can do a change if they actually mean it.
And then we have Kanye West.
Oh my God.
Once again, celebrity.
Someone help that poor man. Get him back on his meds. He clearly needs them.
So, but I mean, I think if, you know, we have people like Keanu Reeves who does all this donations of his money to go into funds for research, what his sister had and stuff like that, that people are doing things. And the Michael J. Fox Foundation, you know, the House, as stupid as it was raising money for ALS. So there is a platform to do good. They don't always pick the right thing to do.
Why is it always Canadians?
What?
Yeah, a lot of them are
both
Canadians.
America, go figure.
Keanu Reeves and Michael J. Fox are both Canadian. You said that, and I was like, why do they got to be Canadian? I mean,
because unless you started with Disney before the age of 16, you're not going to be a famous American person in entertainment.
Yeah, that is true.
Pretty much.
So Tristan, you actually were here specifically for this topic. I'm really thrilled to hear what you have to say.
Okay. Well, there is a specific celebrity that I actually really used to like their music, and that would be Jeffree Star, although their music is very suggestive. That goes into the entire bull crap of the way they went about saying that basically they're completely homophobic. They're like trying to word it out simply as can be. What Jeffree Star was saying is that they have a right to be and dress the way they are, and that's a pathway for other artists, and giving the fact that they were mentioning they were homophobic and they don't like
how can
support any of that. What?
I mean, Jeffree Star is
gay.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know, but the way
you're talking about his recent statements where he came out and said, "Oh, the they/them thing is a bunch of bullshit."
Yes, the pronouns.
The
pronouns,
because
and
of
then
the pandemic, people were stuck inside and they were bored, and so they came up with something like this to basically make a big stink about, and he just is completely disregarding it entirely.
Yes, he's just being an ass about it.
Well, there are people there are legitimately people out there that really are uninformed, and they speak from a place of ignorance. Jeffree Star is he's just a shit stirrer. He's just a drama. He's just a drama queen.
I've never heard his. He made music.
Yeah, it's awful.
It could not have been good. It could not.
It's not good. It is not good.
Makeup skills are passable at best, and again, somebody who kind of got lightning in a bottle.
I used to like it.
But what does that? But just what does that do for you? Does that? Okay, does that bring you awareness to a situation that maybe you didn't know existed for some people, or does that make you go, okay, well, if my favorite celebrity believes it, well, obviously you're not, right?
Definitely not my favorite celebrity, but where that gets me is there was a stage in my life to where I was like wondering about pronouns, and I was just like, you still have to be very respectful of that, regardless whether you're up there in fame or not. Like, you need to know the stuff and be respectful of that for people and their own opinions. So
doesn't it get difficult though in this day and age, because you got people on every side? It's not even just two sides of a coin now. It's like 50 sides of a coin.
No, it's just a whole D&D dice roll. That's what it is.
Dice. I was about to say the same thing.
It's just a whole D&D dice. That it is.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, some people's opinions, like I fully...
Oh, geez. Oh, no.
Van jinxed himself. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll carry
So what I want to say on this topic is that I actually had this type of conversation. Well, my man is trying to get Mike back on. I actually had this conversation in my critical thinking class. So what people do when they are using celebrities or such, what they're trying to do to the everyday person is they're trying to appeal to authority. That's what the argument is called. It's an appeal to authority. It's saying, oh, I have money, therefore I must know things. And on the other flip side is the straw man fallacy of like, oh, you have money, you supposedly know about this topic, but you're a celebrity, so you don't know anything. And we don't believe any of your shit. Like, and it tends to skew towards, it depends on like the more important something is, the less likely you're going to listen to a celebrity about it. Like if it's like selling certain things, like we appeal to that authority of that. And that's like one of those like critical thinking fails. It's like, oh, you're selling this product, therefore you must know about it. Whereas like talking about like global climate change or actually scientific things, it's even though a lot of these people like Susan Sarandon and other people talking about like even Leonardo DiCaprio when he's talking about global climate change, he's obviously can know something about it because he's been researching it and looking at for like roles. Because when you are an actor and you have to go into a role and you have to know things, if you're a good actor and you're smart, you're going to research everything you know about, so you don't sound like a fucking dumbass that can't read their script. So you are going to at least know quite a bit more than the average person that goes into this topic. However, because we're like, oh, you're just a celebrity, they generally will just ignore that as being a valid argument. However, there are people out there like Kanye West who doesn't know jack shit, and yet we
Right.
think he knows so much out there.
But then I feel like, but then the flip side of that is that you have people like Sean Penn who regularly will go and do housing, help build houses for people in need. You have Paul Newman who started his whole food company, and I think 100% of those profits go towards I don't know what exactly his cause is, but I know. It's supposedly for charity. All the money that he raises from Paul Newman's food lines go towards charity.
Yes, I mean that you have like people like Natalie Portman who is extremely smart. Like she was cum
she's
laude.
A Harvard graduate.
Harvard graduate. Graduated cum laude. Like that is and yet people still don't think she knows anything. But what she's talking about when she like makes any type of statement or like I just when you were talking, I had a whole bunch of other ones that were the same thing.
I got one.
There was a one girl. Oh my god! And I hate to say it, she had a TV show. She had a really big nose. Blossom. Yes. She's
Alex.
What was her name?
Maya B. Alex. Yeah.
Yeah. She is another one that's like a scientific genius. That a lot of people don't really realize. How learned she is.
Yeah, there's quite a few. Yeah, what were you saying, Anthony?
I was going to say one of the celebrities back in the day that I didn't really hold a whole lot of respect for back then, but I do now because of how passionately he speaks about things, is Russell Brand. That man is like surprisingly intelligent on like, this is what you need to do to fix this thing. This is what needs to happen with his, like, these are important issues. And like, he's no longer just this like token, oh, I've got a British accent, throw me in a rom-com kind of thing going for him.
Right.
He's not just dating Katy Perry. Like he's gone off on doing his own thing, but he's like making very factual, good intended statements of like, this is an issue and you all really should be paying attention to this. We have a serious problem here. Like we can't, again, he's on the side of like, America can't just be left to fail because of the stance that it has in the world community. Because if we default on that debt and fall, it's going to fuck everybody else up.
It's going to fuck everyone else
over. Everybody else up. So like, it's an important thing that yes, we need to tackle and yes, we need to address. And the biggest thing is again, going after some of these dumbasses that have just been hoarding money for way too long.
We honestly need to go back to taxing the 1%.
Yeah.
Yes. We need to go back to prior to a Reagan administration and tax people with abundances of wealth.
Pre-Reagan, yeah.
Like, hey, yeah, you're going to pay 70%. If I got to owe the government $600 this year, like, damn, that fucking Jeff Bezos shouldn't owe at least like $50 billion.
I mean, like, that would cover so many of the fundings. This is, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And even with like other countries and taxes, like we actually don't pay that high of a tax rate, but we also don't have a government that supplies us with our necessities like we need. So like, even though we pay like 8% of taxes overall, which is not a high number, we are in debt with our schooling, with our medical, with their insurance on all that. And, other countries like, Sweden, for example, they pay 38% taxes, but those people are happy because they can go have a child and it doesn't cost them $20,000.
The country that has the highest happiness index in the world pays up to, I want to say 60% in taxes, which is what, Norway or Finland?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Germany, but they also are well taken care of.
Wage, don't they? Like this is a livable. Like we're going to give you a stipend of what you should get to cover your expenses.
Well, it's actually very comparable to what we would make, meaning that they would actually have less in their net income. However, they don't have to worry about things like medical costs. So they don't have to worry about their entire family being put out on the street if somebody has something that happens. Or they don't have to worry about maternal leave and paternal leave. Those come on. And in fact, I want to say even in like Finland, when you have a baby, you get like a huge, like, all kinds of diapers and food and all kinds of things given to you from the government. They don't have to worry about education. If their
And
kids
you
are
can
going to
get
go
in-home care too, like for a couple of months if you want, while you're like right after you have the baby.
I mean, yeah,
Exactly.
same thing with I mean, medical is so much, it's handled so differently in other countries. And we're told a lie. I mean, I think we talked about this previously, but we're told such a lie that, oh, well, if you had to have socialized healthcare like in other countries, you would be treated horribly. You'd have to wait months for something to happen. And it's not true. That's
Right.
just simply not true. That is a lie that's made by Americans to scare us into not voting for our best interest, which is socialized healthcare.
Right.
And this is something that celebrities do talk about because they do know about these things.
Yeah.
If you're a well-learned, if you're a creative who's an actor who's like really good at what you do, like really that is a master of your craft. I'm talking about that because there are celebrities that really don't know anything. They're called celebrities.
Kardashians.
Yeah, like the Kardashians. I mean,
right.
They're famous because they're wealthy. But do they have
Right,
any
well,
really talent or knowledge? No. They have a lot of, but they have a lot of what's that word that I want to say? But they have a lot of like opportunity. No, just opportunity. They have a lot of opportunity. They have nepotism that helps them. That's the other things that you'll have these people that make their own way because they're very smart, and then you have the nepotism that can feed into that as well. I'm not saying that all of these people are just that's the only way. But,
right. But that happens a lot when we get to those higher ends. When you were talking about we need to go back to taxing the higher the brackets, I 100% agree with you. However, the difference is between now and say the 70s or before the 70s was that people now, because they have these better opportunities, right? The higher you get in income, the more lawyers you have access to that can now help you find loopholes so that you don't have to pay these amounts. But then a lot of these people too will like simply just become a citizen of Ireland. They will denounce their American, citizenship and become an Irish citizen where their taxes might be a lot less. 95% of all pharmaceutical companies in the United States don't even pay taxes here. They're companies.
A lot of their stuff's in the Cayman Islands. I mean, Ireland wouldn't want us anyways. Honestly, Ireland's a bad example because they will not.
We're talking about Ireland. It's same time.
Well, I mean, speaking of potatoes, Frey, you talk to a lot of celebs on Twitter. What do you think about this?
What? Talk to a lot of I don't talk to a lot of celebrities on Twitter. I tweeted them. I don't know if they respond. I think it all comes down to integrity. Like it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it. The people, you will know if someone knows what they're talking about, celebrity or not. That you will know. Some will do it to be on the bandwagon. The ones that don't usually are the ones you don't know about until afterward. Like Keanu Reeves, nobody really knows what he does until after, and he's not the one that says anything about it. So I think there are really good celebrities out there. I think you just have to weigh the information from the source that you get it from. Do you like this person just because you like their music, or they wear the right outfit? Then you may want to take their opinion with a pinch of salt, maybe get a secondary source on that. If it's somebody that is passionate about the cause, then that they're gonna you kind of know, like Chris Evans has that the ASP that he did, where that people can go to their website and learn about politics, and they have all these different politicians on there, and that's something he's passionate about. So if he were to speak about a state legislation, something or other, I might give his opinion a little bit more weight than, say, Roscoe down the street from me, because I don't know what Roscoe's interested in. So it really just depends on what they're talking about. But yeah, I mean,
you know Roscoe.
yeah, right, Roscoe. So.
But then you have like the flip side. Like I just posted this on my Facebook the other day, but it was about Dennis Rodman, who I'm not a big basketball person. I just thought this was cool. But it said every time the Bulls would come to Boston, Dennis Rodman would buy out the Toys R Us and deliver the toys to the Boston Children's Hospital. And there were never any cameras or never any reporters, right? But then again, he's also the guy that was like trying to be buddy with Kim Jong Un.
Oh, he is. He is buddy with them. Like they're BFF. They really are. So.
All right. So you can't always just say just because somebody does something good that they are, I guess, informed or
right. But that's really. I mean, if he were to come and say something about basketball, because he was a basketball player, right. I would probably give his opinion a little bit more weight than say
world politics.
Coy can talk about comics. If Coy's going to say something about comics, I'm going to listen. Just like I would listen to Dennis about basketball. I probably won't agree with him because Dennis Rodman and I have some structural differences when it comes to basketball. But I don't want to get into that. But yeah, I think it really just depends on the arena that they're speking about. I think more than anything, I'm like,
I think you just have to know what the person knows, like, and like if they have the information that they have to back things up. But if they're just spewing out of their bumhole, why are we going to listen to you? Like Kanye West. I hate to keep going back to Kanye West, but Kanye West.
Well, Kanye is an interesting example, especially when you look at like his Yeezys, right? Yeezys were so like overpriced and so expensive, but then when they got cut from Adidas, the price of Yeezys went down to like you could get them for like $40 and $50. Meaning like the value of the shoe didn't change at all. The only thing that changed was the celebrity that was endorsing that product.
To be fair, all of Kanye's fashion sucks. like all of his shoes, all of his clothes, they're all terrible. It's kind of like Michael Kors. I'm sorry. Like Michael Kors bags, I see so many like middle-aged white women use that as a status symbol. Look at me. I got my like Donkey Kong Country coin of an MK. And they're ugly. They are the ugliest fucking purses known to man.
And hard to get into. They are.
My mom liked them. My mom
my mom got like a couple of those. Oh my god, look at I got this for Christmas.
Yep.
I'm like, it's a hideous shade of brown. I'm nothing that you own. Cool.
And if you're gonna do that, you might as well go Kate Spade. You can't go wrong with Kate Spade.
I was gifted a Kate Spade Pride bag. I have yet to use those clutches once because they are still in their plastic. That and I also misplace my purses most of the time, so I just don't use them.
Yeah, you should keep that beauty wrapped up.
Well, I wanna pose a question here. Is we talk about bad celebrities, good celebrities we don't hear about. Do you feel that how can you really judge? Do you feel like the people that say the dumbest shit are the ones that are in the limelight most often, so we're not hearing all these good things that they are actually doing behind the scenes, that we just hear, oh, Kim's flying her private jet a block away just for no reason to pick up Starbucks or wherever it may be? I feel like we're focusing more on the stupid opinions and the stupidity that comes out of celebrities' mouth than the good, just because it makes for better news, better articles. BuzzFeed, did you know, top 10 facts about Kim Kardashian's bathroom and her playing, stuff like that.
TMZ base really can like go away. I hate TMZ. I think that whole thing is just terrible. They're vultures. They prey upon it, and that's an industry. Like tabloids is an industry. The fact that I still see shit about Princess Diana and
paparazzi
Ramsey is just kind of amazing, because it's like, wow, it's only been like 30 years. Can we talk about something else? But apparently these still sell magazines. These things still create some sort of income. We're seeing a whole new crop of just social media influencers. Just because someone's got 6.5 million followers on Twitter or Instagram suddenly their opinion matters, even though they might not be the best representation of a correct statement or something that people should follow.
I think that's a very interesting interesting angle that you brought up, because I think about things like Logan Paul, who has created 2 or 3 NFTs where he's just constantly ripping off his own fans, and people are still coming back. People are still following this guy. He still releases new NFTs, and people still buy that shit, even though the last 3 ones, huh?
What about what is his name is Mr. Beast?
Yes,
right.
So says these crazy competitions. I'm going to give away $500,000 for people to do stupid shit for 3 weeks. I don't understand where that kind of money comes from or how that became a popular thing, but yet he does it all the fucking time.
He came from money, first and foremost.
That does not surprise me.
And then he gets money. I don't know if you saw the thing of he telling his fans to clean up his chocolate bar aisles in Walmart and take pictures of it so he can sell his chocolate bars more. Now, is he a philanthropist? Yes, he is. He does donate a lot of money. Is it better than buying people McDonald's and bottles of water in Ohio, let's say? Yes, it is. But, he's still doing some good. But we look at him and go, well, he's stupid. It's this is stupid. Why is anyone buying into this stuff, right?
I'm someone who does watch some Mr. Beast videos, and I'd have to say he does more good than he does bad, and some of his videos may be idiotic, but they're also very entertaining just to see what people will do for that amount of money, and it's entertaining, oddly enough.
Right. I think, and actually, this interestingly, we talked about Mr. Beast on Hearts of Kyber a few weeks ago, because he had this thing where he recently did. I don't know.
No, he helped people see again that had cataracts.
Exactly. Yes. And one of our arguments over there was, why does it take Mr. Beast to do this? Because the big argument was he exploiting these people for views and to get more views on his channel. But my argument was, whether he was or was not, that's now 1,000 people that can see that could not see a month ago, and this is how he stepped in to do it. He's using, obviously he gets paid for his views from his videos, and that's why he makes the spectacular, $100,000 if they can keep their hand on the car or whatever it is. You know what I mean? That's going to generate the views. The man knows how to entertain, and he's figured out how to take that and then also get to do some good from it. Not everything he does is, a philanthropic. I can't say it. Philanthropic. Thank you. Not everything he does is that, but I mean, he had the thing where they planted 1 million trees or something like that. So there is a lot that he's doing, and my argument is, if that's what it takes, if it takes me putting on a video so I can raise money so these people can get their eyesight, well, fuck it. In the end, that's 1,000 people that now have their eyesight. But what was scariest about that video was all of these people had certain conditions where literally they were 10, 15-minute procedures. Mm-hmm. They were $1,000 procedures, and yet all of these people were in the position where they could not do it on their own. They had to get help from somebody else to be able to get these relatively simple procedures that our government should be taking care of instead of Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when we start getting, 1 million views per thing that we do, I mean, we're going to do stuff like that, right?
And we will.
Michigan.
We're already doing it, and we're not getting 1 million views.
Right.
For those that don't know, we have 20% off on Kyber Cave right now, but that 20% off.
Join our Patreon.
Speaking of celebrities getting money out of you,
opinions.
But we are donating those profits towards helping Jon get a new wheelchair. So in on a very small level, we are not Mr. Beast, but we are trying to duplicate what he's doing. We're trying to get people to buy products so that we can help Jon, a cause that's important to us.
Yeah.
So it's not. I guess it's
sometimes
not much
it's
different.
one person at a time.
Yeah.
Right. That's.
Right.
Even
But
if it's
does it
1%
matter? I mean,
of
like,
helping a small percentage of humanity, it's still there. It's still that act of kindness.
Yep.
right,
It makes ripples.
right. But how much
Yeah.
does it matter to you? Will you go and buy a product simply because a celebrity is attached to it, or
No.
does it sway your opinion at all? Would you, if it was something that you were on the fence about, but your favorite celebrity liked it, would that sway your opinion just a little bit more? Or we don't even know if they like it, right? They just endorse it.
I
Right.
mean, not now. Again, 10-year-old me was all about the wiener schnitzel chili dogs, but nowadays I just stick with the fries. I don't think that celebrity endorsement has quite the pull that it used to, especially because we're
agree.
in such a open market of constant advertisement all over the place. I think if anything, the things that stick out in your memory are the ones that are going to sway your opinion. But even still, like I always look at like free things like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram that make billions of dollars of profit. And I'm like, how? It's free. And
They're selling
says,
your
"Oh, well,
information.
it's
That's
yeah,
the old
selling
saying.
your
If you don't know what the product is, you are the product.
yes.
Right.
But it's because they want to sell you advertisement. They're selling you advertisements, but at the same time, when was the last time you bought something because it popped up as an ad on your Facebook?
Never.
Like that's again kind of like the bottom of the barrel. Like, yeah, I'm sure like 0.56% of people out there actually did buy into it.
But see, I gotta feel like that's not the case. I feel like, okay, maybe everybody here, and maybe we're a little bit different, but if it didn't work, I don't feel like the big companies would do it, right? If they didn't have to pay Michael Jordan a certain amount of money to make Air Jordans the success they wouldn't give him that amount of money. They're doing it for a reason.
Yeah, but we don't have Air Kobe's or Air LeBron's. Like I don't know. I don't think it's quite the same as it was in the 90s. The 90s was definitely that like hot topic part where celebrity endorsement had more pull and say. Today it is more of a popularity thing of like who's got the most views on this current website.
Right. Well, I mean, wouldn't you say that that's how the whole Kardashian empire was built?
Yeah, absolutely. The fact
them
that
endorsing
Kylie's a self-made billionaire for her makeup, that's such a fucking bold-faced lie. You cannot tell me, oh, she just started everything from scratch, completely by herself. We didn't give her any resources whatsoever. Right. What a bold-faced lie to say. Like, yeah, again, piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Thanks.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah, Kylie's a self-made billionaire. Sure she is, Bruce. Oh, I'm sorry, Caitlyn. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. Whichever Jenner is going to be the one in the matriarchal family there and be like, hi, my entire family is a business. We exist as shake salads. God, keep up with the Kardashians. I've never. It's kind of like Jersey Shore. Ever since the invention of reality television, I'm just like, I miss sitcoms.
Married with Children.
Right.
I mean, give
reality
me
TV.
I'm waiting for that reboot. I heard it's happening.
I remember when Real World first came out, the first reality show. I don't know. I remember watching Real World when it came out.
World too. I really wanted to be a part of it.
And actually, the Real World, the first season was so good. The cast was so diverse, and then it just kind of got over time. It just kind of got muddled down, and but that was done because they realized how much money they could save by not having to have scripts and things like that. They realized how much.
Also because of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Was that because of the writer's strike?
I don't think the first time it was.
I think the first time, but I feel like that's where the big explosion.
Yeah, that's where
reality
the pivot
television took over television is because the writers went on strike. They said, we're not getting enough money. We're not going to write you any more stories. And so it became just people's day-to-day lives suddenly are now fascinating because that's all we can have. We can't shoot something with a script. We can't have people who write a script.
Right. I think that had to do with part of the rise of it, but it wasn't why it started. It started as its own thing. And then I think because of the writer's strike, then the producers were like, well, if we switch all of our shows to the reality format, then we don't have to have writers.
And now here we are all together, just the evolution of that whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
And scene.
Ah, this
I
was
wanna know-
entirely scripted. You didn't even know it.
Well, I mean, as Ark was saying, I want to hear it from the rest of you. Did you guys ever, other than chili dogs, buy something because of celebrity? Like I don't follow these people online. I don't care what they say.
Right.
I'm other than what I do for this show, for the podcast, and stuff like that. Like I said, I've told you guys before, I'm not on social media. I don't care about that stuff. So I just always been kind of blind and deaf to it, just because I've never really paid attention to it. Did I want Air Jordans? No, I never wanted Air Jordans. I just wanted a shoe that worked.
Right.
I never cared about the brand names of things, and it was never. I look around my office. Like I said, I'm a '90s rich kid now. But,
right. Not
but
the 90s.
not in the 90s, no.
Right.
So it never. I never wanted. I didn't eat Wheaties because they're disgusting. I didn't care what athlete was on it. I don't think it ever swayed me in any fashion or form, even as a kid.
Right.
I'd
like to know if there's anybody in the audience. Say, Wong, have you ever been swayed to buy a product because of a celebrity or some other people? Because I just feel like we've got to be the exception to the rule, right? Because they wouldn't do it if it didn't work, and if they did do it and it didn't work, it would be a short, temporary thing, right? It might be something that maybe a company's trying out. Oh, let's hire this person, give them $2 million, and see if it works. But we've been doing this since the beginning of advertising. We've been using celebrity endorsements, even in early television.
Opposite. What if it's not what would you want? It's what would you not want?
What would you not buy because a celebrity endorsed it?
Right, like the opposite. You might be like, well, I don't like this person's politics, or I don't like that this person said this, and this. So I'm not going to get a Chevy. I'm going to get a Ford. I mean, it could be something like that too. Like, I would say that I would be more willing to not go with something if it was a celebrity that I was lukewarm about or I didn't like versus somebody I liked. I might be like, oh, I was going to get that brand anyway. Well, hey, cool. Susan Sarandon buys this brand of Wheaties or whatever. I don't know. It's just.
You know what? Barbara makes a good point on screen here, and it's one I totally didn't even think about. I have Mint Mobile, and I did not buy Mint Mobile simply because Ryan Reynolds was the spokesman. But I listened to the message because Ryan Reynolds was the spokesman, and because I was like, oh, I'd like to pay $15 for my cell phone. Yeah. Then I bought the product. So it wasn't specifically because of him, but because of him, I was more open to the message. How about that? Yeah, so, thank you, Barbara. Thank you very much. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
It could be it too. I just don't. I think we're maybe because we're older. We're not as we're like, man, we've seen these people before.
We're not as impressionable.
We're not as, I'm going to just go out and buy whatever, you want to sell me. Now, look, if we were talking about like Jim and the Holograms or Barbie or, what I mean? I would new Barbie commercial, got to get that Barbie, Right. It's like, oh, Jim and the Holograms have a whole new set. Oh, got to get those. Oh, she's wearing gold this time. She wasn't wearing gold last time. She was wearing pink, So it's like, yeah, I would totally do that. But, it wouldn't matter if, Jenna Ortega was like, you got to get these gem dolls,
Right.
If she,
I severely doubt that would be the thing she would endorse. Her brand is so not that.
Yeah, I know, which is why I went there. So.
Get your coffee black at Starbucks.
Right.
Eat a sandwich.
Let's see. There was a 7-Up ad that kind of got wowed me a little bit to buy it, and then made 7-Up yours ad. Make 7-Up yours ads.
Yeah. Well, that so Sewon, it just made me think about the 7-Up video game. How do we feel about celebrity video games?
What do you mean celebrity video games? Oh, celebrity in games?
You never played like there's Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen video games. There's 50 Cent video games. There are celebrities that endorse video games. You buy the video games.
I mean, Tony Hawk has how many skateboarding games?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you're right. You're right.
There's the NFL, NBA.
Yeah, the Madden.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Madden. Oh, that's like those are all celebrities as well.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I was just watching videos about the Phase 1 crew. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Phase 1, but they are gamers, and they were bought out by a corporate entity because they saw that that gaming was a hot thing, and now the corporation's trying to figure out how to make money from it. But part of the deal with the Phase 1 crew is they hired or they paid Snoop Dogg to be one of the members of the board or something like that. And the idea was that hopefully Snoop Dogg's celebrity would draw more people into supporting the Phase crew.
I like how this was our light topic.
Right, bank collapse, fuck it.
This is what really matters, celebrities.
Right.
It's our medium rare topic.
Oh, God.
I think we have to define too, like what constitutes a celebrity too, because there is some gray area there as well.
I would say anyone that has a following that can sway the public's mind.
Well, this is interesting. It's frayed. It's definitely frayed. This was an interesting conversation because we've talked about this on here before. Was are influencers celebrities? I know this. God, this was back even when Phoenix was on. I think this was before Graveyard. But we were talking about. I remember specifically when Phoenix was making distinctions between YouTube celebrities and Hollywood celebrities. For me, I didn't see a difference, but there are people that very much do see a difference between a YouTube influencer or maybe an Instagram influencer and a Hollywood movie star. Do you guys feel that way, or how do you guys feel?
It's a different media. It's like saying that a writer, an author, is the same as a movie star. It's not. It's a different medium.
Yeah,
so they're different,
yeah.
And that's why they always say they are Instagram influencers. They always say what platform they're on. They don't go, NBC TV star, on top of their name. They're just an actor at that point in time. We have to spec out, that we have the YouTube stars, Rhett and Link from Good News This Morning. We have Matt Pat, we have Mr. Beast. That it's always categorized with YouTube or YouTube influencer before
right.
that. We classify them separately as it is.
And they are famous for their niche thing that they do. Mm-hmm. They're clearly good at what they're able to produce. It doesn't necessarily translate over to the other medium, because I know that like Medea had a movie that had all these YouTubers come in as characters, and they sucked. When it came to acting, oh my God, like I've seen better shit at a community level, and I say that because I'm in a community level. But yeah, seeing a movie like that where I'm just like, okay, so you centered a lot of clout around these people that are way more entertaining in their videos that they edit themselves versus this, where suddenly it just falls flat.
Right. I want to say, I don't know if it was Mitch Hedberg. Rest in peace. Love that guy. He had this joke, and I'm going to mess it up, but it was something like, he's like, I didn't get into comedy because I wanted to be an actor. I got into comedy because I wanted to tell jokes. He's like, in what other industry would you go, I got into baking because I wanted to be an auto mechanic. You know what I mean? Like, in what other industry would you just take somebody who's good at one thing and go, okay, you're great at telling jokes. You must be funny in movies.
Yeah.
And sitcoms. Every 90s sitcom was a stand-up comedian. Let's face it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of fair. Or 80s. I mean, the 80s sitcoms were like that too, though.
Yeah, they had some in the 80s.
Majority 90s. Every
Mark and Mindy.
Comedy shows were certainly done by comedians.
Well, no, wait. I'd have to disagree. I don't
Full House was
I was just going to say Full House.
What about
no, wait, no.
Friends?
Well, Full House had Bob
Wait,
Saget. Bob
Friends is
Saget
actually
was a
terrible,
stand-up comedian.
Okay?
How dare you?
That's what I said. Mork and Mindy too. That Robin
Family
Williams.
Ties.
brother.
I said the majority of the '90s sitcoms were from stand-up comedians. That's my statement. I didn't say all,
90s.
only '90s. I said majority.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh God.
Malcolm Middle did not start in the '90s. Sorry,
No,
Did
it
it not?
started in the no, it started in the 2000s.
2001.
Oh, damn it.
Seinfeld.
Okay.
Seinfeld, I think, started in '89.
Well, but Seinfeld was a stand-up comedian.
That's what we were talking about.
She's
Well,
supporting
what we were saying. Right. I'm trying to find someone that's not a stand-up comedian. I know they're out there.
Wow, I was talking about how stand-up comedian, like how that trend started in the '80s with all of these stand-up comedians.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah. But I mean,
That was like a big trend that happened, but like I was like, oh no, it wasn't. No, that was it.
No, because I was thinking of but in the '80s, I was what was that? Family Ties. That one didn't have any comedians.
No,
it's not a classical sitcom either, though.
No,
well, why is it not a
Bill
classical sitcom?
Cosby is a stand-up comedian,
Yes.
but I don't think that's
Bill Cosby
the
was a stand-up
show.
comedian.
And I think that Family Ties is a tie of that. I believe, if I'm correct.
We even had Fluffy himself on Netflix had his own show a couple years ago that we still have it. You know, that we still have them do that stuff. They write movies. You know, Bert is having The Machine come out. You know, based off his
Sewang, I was
That's
totally
good.
quoting Keenan and Kel, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm quoting this now. Who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda. I was like, oh my god, why? Why is this happening?
Yeah, I mean, with Ark's statement of Mitch saying that, people wanted to bank on their comedy and have them be part of the writing process. I think that's a big difference. Is, you know, I don't think Bob Saget had any part of the writing process because his stand-up comedian was nothing like
Right. He had that very dirty adult humor.
Yes,
he did that well after Full House as a way.
No, that was before Full House.
He did that way before, and he did it way after.
And they still cast him. That's fun.
And America's Funniest Home Videos.
That was the one paying big bills for sure.
That's because he got known as being America's dad, and that's why, he ended up doing family home videos because they're like, who's the perfect person we can get? Oh, Bob Saget, because everyone knows him as America's dad.
Well, I think that's another interesting.
Now, it would be Pedro Pascal.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's true.
I think it was very.
There's only one and only Space Dad.
How we had a slew of people who started off as not role models, but somehow ended up becoming role models. I always think of like Ice Cube. Like, how did Ice Cube go from NWA to making, you know, Daddy?
Are we there yet?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking of Ice-T. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Ice-T because he's an SBU and he's a damn good actor in there.
Ice-T is another great example. Yeah. George Carlin ended up on what was it Thomas? Thomas the Train?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's George Carlin.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So you got a lot of these guys that do these. I mean, stand-up is just another performative action, really.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, in that case, you had two hardcore gangster hip hoppers that, you know, became loved by America.
No, I mean, that's absolutely true.
I mean, let's even look at Snoop Dogg. He went from being a hardcore rapper to like Martha Stewart's bestie. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And who's on more jail time?
Right. Martha.
They both went to jail.
Something other than the goddamn grapes. That's for damn sure.
I do want to say this.
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Robin Williams, rest his heart and soul in peace. He actually used to be a comedian before he actually got into acting, and I absolutely love that. And
Robin Williams,
his stand-up is hilarious.
Yeah,
he was such a good person on so many levels. He lived here in the Bay Area, and apparently, he was known for just walking in on comedian sets and like you know, waiting to the end and just coming up and doing, you know, a set for free. He used to do this thing that I absolutely loved. He had a clause in all of his movie contracts. Joe, what is up, Daddy-O?
Hey, JoJo.
That if he is to be a part of the movie, they had to hire at least 10 homeless people into the production crew. And that was part of his contract. He would not work on a movie unless they hired homeless people to help out in some way, shape, or form on the movie.
That is amazing.
He also
Yeah,
didn't want
honestly-
any. He didn't want any advertising as well. He wanted an uncredited role for the role
The
of
Baron Munchausen.
Yeah.
As much as Robin Williams
No,
had
as
an impact on a
King
lot
on-
of different people, not only as an actor, but in his movies growing up in general, a lot of the movies he was in and just a lot of everything he said, even with he was just going through so much. He hit it with just a mask, and that is so much to say because for everyone and everything, he just seemed like a very optimistic, lovable person, and that just goes to show you can hide a lot of crap.
Right.
Well, I mean, comedy
Yeah,
comes from
absolutely.
a place of pain, so
It does, yes.
That the people who are in the most pain tend to be the funniest individuals that we find because they want to alleviate that feeling for everyone around them.
They want to make everyone else laugh. Yeah.
Right.
They don't
I
want
want
anyone else to be
Yeah,
in
that's-
pain.
I'm
Yeah,
stuck in it, and I don't like that. And I will say there is something that's very self-soothing to that, where like if you can get people to laugh and enjoy it, you yourself can then laugh, and it does kind of help bring you up out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Joe says that I love that he named his daughter Zelda. Zelda actually goes on. She has a lot of videos talking about her father and just how kind of a man he was, and just how rare he was. But yeah, there's a lot of people who are dealing with depression that you don't even know it. You wouldn't even know it. That's part of their mask.
Now, let me ask you this: do you think that we would be, because we discussed mental illness? Ark, you and John have discussed this too. If we knew that Robin Williams was like that, that is a platform that he should be able to stand up and get people to support it and realize that it's a bigger problem.
Right.
And that, like I said, it's that good versus bad. We make fun of the Kardashians, we make fun of Kanye because they're fun to make fun of, but we're still making them in the spotlight, and we're still cashing on it. But we have all this crap, like with Rob Moon. We didn't know about this. That we should, he wanted to keep it private, but I mean, people like that are going through it can help others, make it aware. Say, hey, I may have this mask, but I'm struggling just like you. Here's to get the BetterHelp hotline and stuff like that. That I think we need to see more of that. If they have something like that, to have that stance to bring it to a serious problem to the limelight.
Right.
That would also tie into all of the tabloids and everything again, because that would just make it too much of a big scene, and that's not something Robin Williams wanted because he didn't want the publicity. He wanted to have his own life.
In Hearts of Kyber, we've actually talked about this a few times, and I tend to notice this with celebrities. It seems to be when it affects them personally. But like actually, just last episode we did a COPD, and Leonard Nimoy for the last 10 years of his life or so went to try to tell people about the dangers of smoking and how it's affected him. And a lot of people didn't realize that he had a COPD. We talked about stiff person syndrome. Celine Dion recently has been going on and talking about her dealing with stiff person syndrome. We were talking about Lady Gaga. We were talking about trauma and how that's affected her life. She deals. Oh God, what was hers?
Lady Gaga's.
Yeah.
Fibromyalgia.
Fibromyalgia. That's what I was thinking of.
We just did fibromyalgia 2 weeks ago, but some of that she talked about in an interview with Oprah, which we had clips on the show, how that sprang from a personal trauma or tragedy that happened to her, and then the fibromyalgia came as kind of like her body's release from her dealing with other traumas. So yeah, there are a lot of celebrities that will go forward, thankfully, and talk about some of their issues and conditions, and I would even argue that part of our movement towards gay acceptance and gay marriage came through things like Rock Hudson way back in the day, being some of the first outed celebrities, and some of the first celebrities when in Hollywood you couldn't be gay. You know, Rock Hudson was a famous person who was gay, but he was seen as the you know, every
Epitome of
woman's
straight
man,
male
or
energy.
right. So I would say that it was because a lot of these early people way back in the day that we're so open to it now. Say Wong says Ellen.
Yep.
What? But current day Ellen's got plenty of flack, though, right?
Right.
Process is very genuine. Like, I'm just this really funny person that's kind of quirky and goofy, and then you find out she's a fucking monster behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So don't judge a book by its cover, because you don't really know what's under the surface there. Don't judge a book by what somebody else has told you about that cover either. That's the other big takeaway from this. I had that kind of relayed to me as a recent thing. You all know I had that conversation with that so-and-so. And they said, oh, yeah, it's because everybody already has read the book. They know what you're all about. And it's like, but do they? They know your version of events. They know what your review of what my book was. But I most of the time I meet people that already have an opinion formed about me. They've never actually taken the time to talk to me. And even then it's like, what did I do? What did I do to hurt you? Precisely. Like,
And it's also, I mean, it's their opinion, it's their perspective, but it's going to be colored by who they are too. You may not be that person anymore. You may not be what they perceived. You may have grown out of that, or you may not even be that person at all. It's just who they thought you were, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
no, totally.
Yeah, so you should, I mean, that's an opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them, right?
And most of them stink.
Well, you know, that's a really good question, Frank. In this day and age, especially where we are now, are people allowed to change? I mean, people get like Justin Trudeau, right? Justin Trudeau got slammed for doing blackface, you know, something he did 20 years ago. James Gunn with Guardians of the Galaxy, when he got fired from Marvel, it was because of not a recent tweet that he made, but a tweet that he made a long time ago, right? Are people allowed to atonement? Are people allowed to be forgiven? I mean, or is it just that once you've done it, that's it, and it's forever chronicled in history?
I do think it depends on what it is they did.
Yes.
That's, I mean, you know, in the 80s, said an 80s appropriate joke. Okay. Has child pornography on their computer? No, absolutely not. So,
right.
I mean, there are degrees of things that, you know, you can't come back from. But
I hate to say this, but a couple of my favorite 80s movies has rape and sexual assault as made
Are
for
you
jokes.
talking about
I'm talking about anything John Hughes has written.
You're talking Porky's. You're talking about Porky.
No, well, I'm thinking about Breakfast Club. I'm thinking about Breakfast Club. I'm thinking about 16 Candles. I love John Hughes in the 80s. He made some of my Pretty in Pink.
Was there something rapey in Breakfast Club? I'm missing something.
There is a scene where he was John Bender was under the table and he's looking at Claire's crotch, and then then they cut to the scene where her face like changes and it's very obvious that he is doing something. He's either put his face there or his hand or something there. But she was obviously touched in a way that she was not expecting in that scene.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean,
I think, you know,
16 that if we made today, it, like, you know, it would not fly. You know, none of that.
I mean,
16
the movie
Candles?
Waiting could not be made today.
Yeah.
Period.
What couldn't be made?
Waiting.
Oh, fantastic movie.
And it's a fantastic movie. If
No,
you've worked in a
Office
restaurant,
Space
you
couldn't.
totally relate to it. But could it be made today? Absolutely not.
What's an Office Space that? Wait, I'm trying to remember what's an Office Space. What's in there that couldn't be shown today? Or
Oh, I mean, they fucking set a printer on fire.
They took
Are there printer advocacy groups?
Printers
I don't
people
know
now,
about?
Frey girl. Really?
They took a printer out to the field and they beat it with baseball bats. And I can tell
One
you
of the greatest scenes from any movie, especially with the music that they were playing over it. Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
I have taken a printer out to the field, and I have hit a printer with a baseball bat.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I disagree. I disagree that any of these movies could be made now, because the thing is art is meant to reveal something.
Mm-hmm.
Art is meant to show things that we as normal people cannot say or cannot do, or something that we do not want to confront. That is what art is supposed to do. And if we push that into this little corner saying, oh, you can't do that, the artists are going to be like, oh, yeah, watch me.
Yeah.
That is the whole point of art.
You know what?
Art will be made.
It wouldn't be the same.
Because if we said that you can't make certain movies now, that we can't, right. But if you can't make certain movies now, then we have movies like Django Unchained that would never be made. We would have other movies that people are too afraid to reveal or to confront by themselves. And we're going to say, oh, no, we can't make these movies. So now they can't be shown. Like movies like, I mean, there's so many that we would be like, oh, you can't make those movies that are still going to be made.
That if those movies hadn't been made, that we wouldn't be making some of the movies we're making today.
Exactly.
I do
And
think
that's
that. I just don't think in their original form they would have been made today. It would have been made differently.
Right.
So.
I mean, and
right, I do have something to say. The fact that Robin Williams is passed, and yet they decided to make a live-action version of the Aladdin movie, which I think did very well, but still, it's not the same. It's completely different.
Yeah.
So
those are completely different motives. Disney has remade every goddamn
That's
cartoon
because-
they've done
but that's because they don't
they
feel
have
like
no
they
fucking
can make
originality, and they just want to make more money off of shit they've already made money off of.
But see, that's
technically
people who are
they
not
actually
creative.
redid it because the original Aladdin, the music in the beginning of that was actually very racist. It was very wrong. Like they literally had to put a warning on it. The original Aladdin,
They had to
put
change a
warning on it.
line, something about them cutting your throat or something like that. I know when
Cut off their ears if you don't like their face.
Right. When the original Aladdin came out to movie theaters, by the time it hit video, the song had changed. A couple of the lines in the song had to be changed.
Well, in the live action, the entire Agrabah thing, the starting of the movie, that entire song is completely different.
Oh wow!
Right. I mean, that's kind of the whole thing, is that we're watching all of these. Again, I mean, the thing is that we cannot watch these. Supposedly, they couldn't make those movies today. And in a way, I mean, maybe I'll make this caveat. There's a caveat to that, and that is why we're seeing all these remakes. That's why we're seeing all these live action takes, because they aren't giving people the money to make, movies. And that will change too. As again, you'll have the artists that will be like, I'm going to make this movie anyways. Go watch me.
Well,
and
I
that's where you'll
guarantee
get those movies.
the Oscars the other night with everything everywhere all at once, which I've been telling people, y'all been sleeping on this movie. I guarantee that changes everything going forward, because people up until now, they were like, that movie was made for $25 million, which in Hollywood is unheard of. That's like you and me going to McDonald's. It's such a tiny budget. That movie was made with 6 editors, as opposed to Marvel, where they have, a team of 100 graphics designers and visual editors.
Some of the best movies ever made were done on a shoestring budget. Like Silence of the Lambs is one of
a lot of your horror movies.
What? Okay, and we're not talking just Blumhouse though. Like, yeah, they make a shit ton of profit for what they put in. But when you put some people together that have passion about something and are there to tell a story, that's what made the precedent different. There's a reason that should have, and I'm glad it did win, because of the fact that it created something that was really drastically different and original. It wasn't just remaking some nostalgia. It wasn't just hearkening on like, oh yeah, this franchise existed. Let's have another just frivolous sequel. It's good to see something that's new and refreshing and different.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I love fucking Studio Ghibli so much. Like every single one of the movies in their catalog is a very unique, different, amazing story, even though it has the same animation style and they have the same common core. Like take the things that are very ordinary and make that part of that film, because it makes it more relatable and more authentic versus just like focusing on the getting from point A to point B and just doing that. Marvel right now in general is definitely floundering because they did not have a very successful Act 4 or Act 5 or whatever they're called, phases.
Phase 4. Phase 4.
They're running out of their own stuff. Disney's doing the same thing. And again, because now Disney owns so much, they are now starting to see a lot of backlash from them just rehashing the same thing over and 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 over again.
Yeah, they need to take risks.
They need to have something new and refreshing and different. So we need new stories. We need new storytellers.
That's why I love the movie Midnight. I thought the movie Midnight was beautiful and fantastic. And
Midnight or Moonlight?
Moonlight. I meant Moonlight. That's what I meant. Moonlight. Thank you.
Moonlight's
See, I thought that was. It made me cry. I thought it was a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And it took risk. It was risky.
Barbara up here says, I just watched Graffiti Bridge, Purple Rain 2, which was so problematic, but I can't say that Prince isn't the reason that purple isn't my favorite color. She also mentions Clerks. Say Wong says Ghostbusters 1. Ghostbusters 1, was there something in there that couldn't be shown nowadays, or would it be?
He's talking about low budget.
Low budget.
Yeah.
30 million.
yeah,
I mean,
I guess
Alien,
that
there's a
was
lot of
low
them.
budget.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that you could say they're lower budget that made.
Right, but I think of just like Mel Brooks, like half his catalog couldn't be done. I was speaking of which, did anybody watch The History of the World Part 2?
Not yet. I'm going to.
It's already been out. It was. I found it to be good. It definitely wasn't anywhere like the original, but I knew that there was no way that it could be, because so many of his jokes just wouldn't fly nowadays.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, but they are important. They are important. It's important to see that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at Airplane and I'm like, oh my god, this movie's awful.
Yeah.
Not as
I
terribly
love
written.
Airplane.
No, not that it's written terribly. I'm just like, oh man, but the jokes, they're so.
Right. Excuse me, ma'am. I speak jive.
Yeah, I speak jive. I can speak jive to them.
Okay, but see,
so bad.
Even going further back than that, okay, so that was made by Zucker and Abraham, which I love their movies. They did the Naked Gun movies.
Mm-hmm.
They did Val Kilmer's first movie. People aren't aware of Top Secret.
Top Secret, yeah.
One of my favorite movies of all time. But if you go further back than that, they did Kentucky Fried Movie.
I love that movie.
Right, which there are definitely scenes in that movie that you could not show nowadays.
Or you can John Waters' collection.
Shown then.
John Waters.
Pink fucking flamingos.
Oh my god,
has so many.
Watched that.
Oh my god!
I watched Pink Flamingos not that long ago. I can't.
Oh my god!
Incest? What? Eating dog shit? Where?
Oh god!
Oh.
And then he still wrote Hairspray, and I love Hairspray.
Yes.
And then wasn't the Little Mermaid?
Divine. Yes.
What's the bad guy in Little Mermaid?
Ursula. Ursula was she was inspired by Divine's look. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Iconic. She is iconic.
Otto, that's who you're talking about, Say Wong. I love Otto.
Yes.
Co-pilot Otto. Yeah, co-pilot.
All right, guys. We are coming up to the end of our segment here. This has definitely been Ursula. Yes, Ursula's villain. Thank you very much. This has definitely been a spicy topic. I don't know if we actually got anywhere on this one, but it's been fun.
I think it's really
spicy. I don't know if it's spicy.
You know, do celebrity opinions matter?
I mean, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one.
Yeah. That's
right.
I'm a celebrity. Ha ha. No, I'm kidding.
Well, Mr. Celebrity, we're going to go ahead and start with you on our outros.
My name is Anthony, aka Story, and aka Rubik's Arcana, and I am red as a beet.
She'll be
I've
able to
been
cover.
having allergy issues all day, so I'm like itchy and snap. I keep touching my face, and so that, and I've been drinking a lot of gin. So happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone out there, my hardcore high functioning alcoholics. I'm right here with you. Please look at me
Cheers.
couch. I got everything going on right now. I got my ghillie shirt.
Nice little crotch shot there.
I don't have the flashes though. I'm sorry. I don't have the flashes to the shoes. You can catch myself and Tristan, aka TriStar, at our next show on Wednesday. It is a fundraising event. It's the Pasta for Pride. We are taking all of our sales from tickets and food and drink that are going to go towards funding this year's third annual Lodi Pride. So we have wonderful performances by all of us. There is no actual theme. It's just kind of a pride-based deal. The great news is that we kind of did get confirmation from our treasurer today. Like, there are funds in the account. You don't have to like rely on this fundraiser being like this huge success.
Oh, wow.
But at the same time, bitch, I want it to be a huge success. Okay? I want people to come through and be like, yes, let's throw money at you and please donate it. Pay for your goddamn entertainment out of this. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Other than that, you can catch me here most Fridays, if not all Fridays. Depending on if I get cast in this show, if rent that may change. We'll see.
Ooh.
Availability.
Who are you auditioning as?
My first choice is Roger, my second is Mark, and my third is Collins, and those are the three characters I will accept. Outside of that, not interested. Because if I don't get to sing one of those characters, I'm not gonna do the ensemble. It's not worth my time.
But
God, if I got Roger, that would be one of those like little like checks off of a famous role that I would love to do. But any of those three would be great. So I have an audition Monday. I might have called
break all the legs.
Yeah.
Break all the legs.
Cross fingers and tell me to break a leg because we'll see.
I said break all the legs. Break every leg you can.
Legs.
I mean, I practically do it every Wednesday anyway when I wear heels. So it's no. I danced a lot this last week in my thigh-high red boots that were given to me, and I will say my body definitely paid for it the day after.
No.
Why did I do that encore? Oh, wait, people threw money at me. Yeah, okay.
Lots of money, yes.
That'll do it.
Great. Make it great. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Lovely. See you. Don't look at my face.
Before we go into this next one, I want to give a shout out to Say Wong, who is at either Carrier Con or Sac Con right now, or one of the, maybe between both. But thank you for hanging out with us tonight, and we will get you back on Graveyard.
Yes, I don't have it up tonight, but I am Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night Mostly podcast. We release new episodes every Wednesday at midnight. That's Central Time. Where we discuss all things horror, movie reviews, stuff like that. We are now partnering up with Comic-Con Radio as well, and potentially Spoiler Magazine with our, our sister channel for here, sister channel Distance Nerding. So you can find me at Distance Nerding on Thursdays on the Build, where I'm doing the March Nerdness bracket. And on top of that, you can also find me 4 days a week starting tomorrow.
I'm excited. Hey, really quick, Graveyard.
Yes.
Did Mez show the spoiler for tomorrow already?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, she did. Yeah. Okay, I see it's in here on the side. I just didn't know she had it showed it.
Yes. So I encourage everyone that's watching this now, watching this in the future. We have Saturday morning Nerd Out starting at 10 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. Our very first episode is tomorrow, so make sure to go there. Also,
you know what? Fuck it. After you're done, I'm going to run in anyways. Sorry. Go ahead.
On top of that, all our cavers, our dwellers, our spelunkers. Please, if you like what we do, join our Patreon just for as little as $1 a month. You can get free swag, you can get exclusive content, do exclusive polls and stuff like that. Also, you want to nerd out with us? Join our Discord server, please. We want to hear your nerdy thoughts. We want to nerd out with you. So please make sure to join that.
Woo-hoo. And just because I haven't seen it, so screw anybody else who's like, I've already seen it. I want to see the spoiler because I'm super excited about the show tomorrow. So let's roll the spoiler real quick. Oh, is that it?
That's it.
Oh,
It's just,
damn it! I thought it was a video.
no. This
Oh,
is
man.
because we're gonna be spoiling stuff on the show.
That was so lame. I'm so sorry, guys.
Worth it.
Amazing.
I mean,
That
you
was
can show
so
the.
Joke was on you.
Do you have the YouTube trailer up that we can throw on real fast?
The little 10-second teaser.
The short,
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. Okay, wait. Okay, okay. I'm gonna go over to the next person, and I'll try to see if I can figure that. I'm not the technology person.
I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat. Don't worry.
You can put it in the chat. All right. Thank you. Yes, make sure to check out this one tomorrow, 10 a.m. Make sure to check that out. I know I am happy and excited for that. And with this show, that makes it 7 days a week. So that is absolutely amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to pull it up and just at the end of this put up the teaser for it. I put it in the private chat.
Oh,
yeah.
Can I? Okay. I wonder what happened. Okay, if I tap on this, will it?
You have to share it.
How do I share it?
Hold on.
Okay. Here's share.
Present. Yes. Oh, we lost your sound there, Ark.
Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, it's fantastic. You guys are missing out. Fuck you guys.
We're all missing everything. Yes.
I'll put it into the main chat too. So
beautiful. Thank you. All right, Frey.
Hey, it's Frey.
Hello.
And I am here. No, so I actually have been doing a lot. I'm on New Rockstars. I do their modding with their Discord, and also Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I also mod the break room. So yeah, I've been doing that for almost a year now. So that's cool. And then I also am on Distance Nerding. I've been made Prime Intern there, so that's always fun.
Intern Prime.
Right.
You sound like an Autobot. I am Intern Prime.
Yeah. I just, instead of turning into a car, I turn into a bitch. That's the difference.
Hey, it's just me. Shit.
And so I am on their Tuesday show, which is the download, and usually on their Thursday show. And then I'm gonna nerd out this Saturday, and hopefully Saturdays in the future with Graveyard over there, because if you didn't know already, I'm kind of a nerd. And so that's
Wait, no, you're a nerd? What?
What? There's nerds here? No.
So, and if you want to see the weird stuff I tweet, and I do tweet a lot, you can follow me at FreyGirl on Twitter. If you want to see my Instagram, I don't know why you would, but if you do, I'm at Gotham_Oracle. If you would like to see my TikToks, then again, I don't understand why, but it is at Gotham.Oracle. But yeah, that's me. So
beautiful.
You also for our Discord server.
You said that already.
I said you're a mod though for the Discord server.
I am a mod for a Discord server. I thought that was just no.
Versus ACBs. Sewon says Luke is the true holder of the dark saber. Boom, mic drop.
Well, yeah, I mean he's battled a lot of people, so yeah.
He did come in and whoop ass all over on season 2. Yeah. Aubrey, what's up, Captain? Oh, Captain.
Hello, I am Captain Lady Moon, also known as Aubrey.
Captain.
Why, thank you. I don't know exactly what else to say there, so you can just say goodbye now. Goodbye.
If you go on our website too, you may notice that some of our newest sabers that we have in our line have been named after some of the hosts on KCP. I started with Kyber Cave After Dark. We don't have Frey yet because I didn't have enough lightsabers. So the next saber that we have coming in will be the Frey, but we do have one called the Captain on the website.
Thank you. Anyways, you can catch me on Wednesdays if you're not going over to that lovely queen over there show. You can also go to my show, which is going to be in Rio Vista at the Flamingo. Talking about flamingos currently, and yeah, you could go and see me sing, and you can sing too, and it's an all good, jolly, good old time.
Wasn't the
So
old
yeah,
one doing an accent today? I love that. It's great.
well, I mean, I am Irish, so my last name's McCoy. Irish, anyone? You know?
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh, I have no idea where my Scottish one comes from, but whatever.
I know, but I'm McCoy. That's me with exactly what my name is. But anyways, if you want to go to see me sing, you can come over there. It's a really good place to go. And if you can also find me here anytime. And yes, I also have an Instagram for this lovely little boy. This lovely little boy has his own Instagram now. His name, you can go look for it under Morgan_Floofy the cat. Or the Floofy cat, the Floofy cat, because he is floofy and lovely. And he likes to take a lot of pictures. So anyways, you can also find, if you want to listen to some of my works, you can go over here and you can go to BYO Dreams and find me there. We are currently working on a third song. You can also find a lot of my music on Spotify as well under Aubrey McCoy. And I do lots of different compositions for this lovely channel with all of these lovely people. Also on Wednesdays, I do go and play with Matsu, and we have a very good time. We have a cracking good time. So that's all I got for you. That's Captain out.
Mr. Beastin.
Yes, Tristan TriStar. Wednesday nights, I'm normally at the club with the Queen, so maybe occasionally I'll start popping in here. Just depends. But other than that, not much else to say. So.
Well, we appreciate you coming out tonight, Tristan, even with all the difficulties you had in the beginning.
Technology, what can I say?
We love your lovely face anyways. I would rather see your lovely face personally.
All right. That's a note then.
All righty.
That is noted then.
As for myself, I am Ark in the Dark here at Kyber Cave. Want to remind you, 20% off on all sabers on our website, kybercave.com. That's this month and next month, getting you ready for your May 4th. But also know that 20% of everything you purchase offline goes towards a fundraiser that we are doing. There is a GoFundMe set up for Jon, getting Jon a wheelchair. Jon is the producer of Beatdown and of Hearts of Kyber on our show. So he's been struggling for many years to try to get help from Medicare. It's a whole big, long story. If you want to go over to Hearts of Kyber, we actually have a whole episode kind of where we break down why exactly we are raising money for Jon. So please make sure to check that out. Kyber Cave is going to be moving around next weekend. I know we are at we're going to be at a dispensary on Saturday, hopefully selling lightsabers. But on Sunday, we're going to be at Toy Fusion in Sacramento. 2 weeks after that, we're going to be at SAC Anime in Roseville. So we are going to be out and about, and we are trying to get more and more onto our calendars. But as for right now, please stay tuned to Kyber Cave Productions. There's so many great shows. We are less than 400 hours. I want to say it's like 358 hours or something like that from becoming a real little YouTube channel. So please tune in.
25,600 minutes.
So please help support this by tuning into any of our fantastic shows, whether you're into gaming, whether you're into health, whether you're into just watching people beat each other up with glow sticks, whatever you are into, whether you're into conversations like this, we've got something for you. I know this Sunday, if you tune into Saber Rattle, we have Tyler Babcock from Fire Sabers will be our guest. That is a big saber company that a lot of people are familiar with. Super cool guy. So I am looking forward to talking to him again. But please stick around for all of our Kyber Cave productions, whether you watch this or any of our other shows. There is going to be something for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yay, it's all love. All right, y'all. Thank you again, and let's see if I can get this this outro. I fucked up the spoiler thing. Let's see if I can get this.
You got
you know
this.
what? I do. I have an ad for this Sunday show that's a web show, so I'll show that, and then the Patreon. All right, you guys. I love you guys. Peace.
Peace,
Bye,
peace.
Bye. See ya.
Where's the next one?